Hello, everybody, and welcome back to BSL17. We just witnessed the winter bracket finals, best of seven between Mihu and Bonyth, and now we're getting to switch gears and get to see a completely different matchup. It's going to be Sziky facing off against Dewalt in a Zerg versus Protoss best of five here for loser bracket semifinals. So yeah, this is always going to be an exciting one. I don't believe we've got to see Sziky and Dewalt face off yet this season, but obviously they've met each other so many times in previous events. So yeah, this is going to be a strong one, folks.
Yeah, I know you're looking forward to this because you got your boy Zeke, a Zerg,
Oh yeah.
and he's obviously very good, like consistently top 4 of BSL. Anytime you know he signs up for a tournament, you have a feeling that he's going to go quite far in the tournament, but he's got his work cut out for him. His first opponent being Dewalt, then his reward for winning that, it would be Bonyth, and then if he wins that, it would be versus Mihu. A very tall order, but if there's any Zerg player that you're going to bet money on to do it, Zeke can definitely be the one to do it.
Yeah, it absolutely would be. My opinion, far and away, he's the best foreign Zerg out there to this day. It doesn't even depend on his level of consistency and how often he's playing recently. He's a big threat in any matchup, and also in Zerg vs Protoss, right? Now, he did fall to a Protoss into the lower bracket to get here. He lost a 3-1 series versus Bonyth earlier in the season. But then, at the same time, he had a very strong showing after that against Chow GG, to take a quick series win there. So definitely not a slouch in this matchup, by any means. But you'd be hard pressed to say that you're favored against DeWalt. DeWalt, just such a phenomenal Protoss player. Proves it time and time again. He's spending the time in Korea now, so he's always in tip-top shape for every single event he applies himself to. So yeah, this is going to be quite a tall order for Sziky in this matchup.
Yeah, and our first map is going to be Retro. I actually think the maps are really good for Zerg, the first couple ones, and then Zerg at Breakers as the last map in the series. So I think there is a chance that Zeke could take him down, but of course DeWalt monster mode right now. But let's get into game one between Zeke and DeWalt. First map going to be Retro.
And spawning top right side of Retro as the blue Zerg, we have StarCast Sziky.
And in the bottom left are Protoss. It is DeWalt.
So cross map, Retro, obviously cross map anytime that's the case. There's just a smaller likelihood that the game will play out a bit longer just due to rush distance timings. So could benefit the players looking for, maybe a later game, but obviously both these players very strong at the late game side of this matchup. Seeing DeWalt place his first pylon at his natural and scouting out to the top left side of the map. I would say this is likely going to end up being a Forge opener here from DeWalt.
Yeah, we see Forge very often these days. Like it used to be Gateway. Now it seems like it's kind of 50-50 Gateway and Forge. But this time around, do you think there's even a possibility that this could be 12 Nexus? Okay, never mind. There goes the probe.
I would normally say this could be, but I think Sziky likes 9-pool way too much. Like, he has an obsession with 9-pool in this matchup for whatever reason. And maybe that has some part of the reason why Protosses keep Forge expanding so often lately. But that being said, it's actually not a 9-pool opener this game. We're seeing a drone scout out. This is likely overgas. Yeah, we're seeing second drone move to the natural. DeWalt caught wind of that drone, though. Gets the first shot even, and that's a pretty big deal here. It's going to force Sziky to take his own natural at his third base location, which is, not ideal.
Or not.
Yeah, I guess not. Maybe he's afraid of a 9-pool and wanted to just guarantee the lane count or something. I'm not sure. But it looks like he will scout that it's an overpool. Gets a little bit of harass on that drone. Sziky committing 1 Zergling to it and moving out with the other 3. Drone scout going to move into the natural here and see 1 cannon with the forge warping in at the natural.
Yeah, and I don't think Zerg is happy about this. Sees that it was Nexus before cannon, so Dewalt gets away with a pretty good build order. And we do see, what was it, like 245 gas for Sziky? Kind of in between that 235 gas and, you know, like a 3rd hatch before gas timing. The probe is dangerously low. If he takes this out, Sziky's going to have the opportunity to 2-hatch all in Hydra if he wants to.
Yeah, it could be big. He's at least pushed it off enough to where Dewalt doesn't feel comfortable keeping it around. So does create some space with that. Probe jockeying towards the south side of the map. Might actually even just be going home, it looks like.
I think it's smart. It's so low that what would be the reasoning to try and continue scouting with it? You might as well just save it and send out another probe. At least that one's going to have twice as much health. That's exactly what he does. In Sziky's main, I think he's ended up going lair because I don't see Hydrogen anywhere. I don't think he would ever go speed first.
Yeah, I don't think so either. That would be very unusual. And yep, we are seeing a lair. So not going to be anything out of the ordinary here for Sziky game 1. Ooh, big pickup, immediate pickup there from Sziky. And that's huge, man. Think about it. Dewalt hasn't even scouted if mid-right has been taken yet. So he's essentially has no info they didn't already have. There's 4 lings on the map. Like, it's, you know, it's not the worst spot here for Sziky starting off.
Yeah, and all he really got intel on was this guy doesn't have speed yet, but I don't even think speed would have kicked in by now anyway. So Dewalt's still kind of just having to guess. I think at this point it's kind of pretty much just how much or how well do you know the player. Sziky to me doesn't strike me as somebody that all-ins very much, but we saw him, wasn't it last week, just busting these Protoss players over and over, like with like mass lane timings. Somebody was doing that. Maybe it was not Sziky. Who?
Oh, he did against Chow GG.
Yes, yeah,
right.
I remember somebody getting busted, but yeah, we're not seeing that this time around. It is just 8 lanes.
He does give away that he has speed though, so that is you know, he did commit some resources to that. So I want to say a good read from Dewalt, right? That is an investment when you're getting 8 lings and speed this early on, and Dewalt never looked like he even intended to work out or leave out, you know, move out of his base.
Yeah, and in Dewalt's main, yeah, I was wondering what our tech is. It's Stargate opener from him. No fast Citadel this time. I did see something at the bottom of his base go down right now. I think that's a Templar Archive just go down. But we can see 32 probes versus 27, 29 drones. Again, Sziky powering really hard, and if you don't punish this guy, all of a sudden he's going to have, you know, 50 drones versus 50 probes, and then his supply is just going to shoot up because he's just going to be building non-stop Hydras from that position.
Yeah, and he is very good at keeping that drone count high up early on here. Man, we likely will see him get up to that 6 hatchery opener that he so favors in this matchup and is very strong in PvZ in particular. So yeah, I see the first Corsair scouting out, sees the Spire, wisely immediately retreats, knows that there has to be some potential Scourge on the map from Sziky. Sziky going for an intercept though on that Corsair, gets it. That's big. Yeah. It's really big.
Now he has to, again, guess, is this guy going to go Mutas, Hydras? He saw no gas at the Nat or the 3rd base, but he did see an Extractor get built towards the end of the Corsair's scouting of the natural. But what I was going to say is Retro has historically been a map where Zerg has gotten away with a lot of powering, and then it turns into like this just massive eco Zerg versus a Protoss that's on 2 bases. So I'm hoping that this DT or something can get damage done, because if he doesn't get damage done with this DT, he's going to be in trouble.
Yeah, 2 Corsairs being pushed off. The Overlord did not fall either, so pretty ideal scenario here for Sziky. And that Corsair's taking a significant amount of damage. This might even prompt Sziky to try some kind of a Muta switch.
He could.
Oh my gosh, he got a Templar for 2 Speedlings? You don't get a better trade than that, Nyoka.
Yeah, that was. I don't even know why your camera's even there, Sziky. Like, why are you looking there? But it was a great pickoff. DT may end up getting taken down, man. So lose your first DT and your first Templar, and you can't do any damage.
A 3rd and 4th and 5th cannon going down at the natural here for Dewalt, and Sziky doesn't even look poised to try to pressure. He doesn't have to commit here at all to this natural. In fact, I think just given his situation, this could just be fake pressure, and then he's going to back up and take a 4th.
He could. This is a lot of Hydras, though. Like, Dewalt has to respect this, too. Okay, here we go. He's going to come. Oh, he's got a Templar. No, he does not get that Templar, and he actually ate a big storm. So this push has already been denied. This was really well done from Dewalt, and he knows it's already been denied because he cancels a cannon. And what was a big loss of the DT and the Templar, all of a sudden, Dewalt, with his 6th gate and his Forge not being denied, I think he's in an okay spot right now.
Yeah, did lose the Templar, right? Like, he's lost a Corsair as well, but things are looking a lot more manageable for him. Templar count is growing. Yeah, I don't think, it didn't feel like Sziky necessarily needed to engage there, but nonetheless, he didn't lose too many Hydras for it. So not the biggest of deals. We are seeing some gas stack up here for Sziky. We'll have to wait and see if that's Muta or... Oh, it is Muta. So the early Corsair is being removed from Dewalt might come into play here.
Yep, Muta switch could be amazing. Especially if he prevents the Corsair from actually spotting this out. Like, if he sees the Hydras and turns around, this could be really bad for Dewalt. And Dewalt is moving out at the same... He doesn't even have speed. Where's speed, dude? These Hydras are like... I've never seen freer Zealots in my life.
Yeah, there's no way he's going to be able to move out against Sziky without speed. So, getting caught out here. Oh, Muta do get scouted at least. But, I mean, that's not going to trigger a move-out timing to Dewalt here. He's going to know he needs to stay back.
Yeah, and there's no Dark Archon. There's only 2 Corsairs. There's really not good anti-air at the natural. And luckily for Dewalt, the Mutas aren't going there. So I guess he won't be punished for his lack of air defense for now.
Looks like Sziky trying to take the 12 o'clock 4th base at the same time. Mutas look like they're getting in position to dive into the natural here. Maybe he wants to go for some probe kills or something.
Oh, here he goes. Here goes 1. But at this point, the cannon's already done. The Corsair count is, at least at 2, probably soon to be 3, and there's Templar sitting here. So I think it's a smart move to just back off, but at least it does keep Protoss back. And if you keep Protoss back while you're chilling on 40, 45 drones, you're going to be feeling like you're in a good spot. Zerg's econ is crazy right now. Upgrades are probably fine. He should have lurkers coming. Yep, he does. So he's in a fantastic position right now.
Ooh, nice storm dodge as well. Just baiting out some of that Templar energy is Sziky. He's doing everything he needs to do. I wonder if this will kind of trigger Dewalt to maybe just take a 3rd instead of hitting a timing.
Do you see that? He already has 2-1. 2-1 armor. How the heck did he get that? So he went +2 first, or +1 armor first. Now he's moving out with a massive upgrade. I can't even tell you how big of an upgrade +2 armor is versus just +1 weapon. However, did he sack robo timing for that seems to be the question. And I think he did, because I don't see an observer anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, lurkers are kind of built for this. And you're right, no observatory, so it kind of explains the position. 2 lurkers already in position at 12 o'clock, so although this is a big timing here for Dewalt, you can't kill what you can't see.
Yeah, he's definitely not going to be able to attack into this. He may commit to top middle just because there's only 2, but a lot of times as soon as Protoss sees... Yeah, exactly. As soon as Protoss sees it, that there's even 1 lurker spine, they back off. But actually, he gets a denial on top middle because Sziky was unaware that there's no observer. Oh no!
Okay.
Oh no!
Oh, he gets to Templar though. Tries to target down a third, but still, that was a massive group of Hydralisks here. And Dewalt, I mean, this is just such a big force from him.
And his +2 armor power spike is still ahead of the +2 of Zerg's. It seems like Sziky may actually try expanding to bottom right, but what I'm worried about is that Protoss is going to have +3 armor so soon, and there's going to be no way to counteract that because Zerg is still on lair tech. Like, you can't even attempt to go +3 yourself until you get Hive.
Yeah, you definitely can't. Ooh, getting some good damage with the mutas here. Sziky definitely still just kind of scouting out, keeping the pressure on Dewalt. There's no way you can take a fourth against mutas unless you start, you know, commit some resources to it. Only 3 Sairs though, so I feel like Sziky just turn on these. And yep, he's just going to turn on him, kills the first Corsair, kills the second Corsair, and wisely retreats out with his 7 muta.
He backs off, but Sziky will get bottom right. Dewalt is going to expand to mid left instead of bottom middle, and seems like we're going to kind of have a stalemate at this point because I don't think Zerg's willing to attack. I don't think Protoss can attack into Lurker Hydra. So at this point, we're just going to have both players power.
Yeah, probably a wise call here. I mean, Sziky definitely showing that by getting such a, you know, his hive going at this point. He's fairly even on supply count here with Dewalt, though.
Yep, 170, 150. It's not bad. I will point out the worker count here being 46 for Dewalt. I just casted a game of Snow on this map in particular, and he also didn't go over like 45 probes, and that was even 50 minutes into the game. And Dewalt must have seen that game because he's going to have a maxed out army with a third base coming up, probably fourth base coming up, and his army count is just absolutely bonkers.
It really looks like it. I think Sziky's going to need to pull some units from bottom right even if he's hoping to hold this. That's just so many Dragoons and Zealots. And here we go. Dewalt starting to converge on this field of Lurkers here.
Yep,
Observers moving in.
I've seen this before. Attacking into the choke, even with Coons and Zealots. Lurkers just chew through this. But is there enough? There's only 4. There's no sunken. There's not really many sunkens. You kind of have to have a lot of sunkens to help buffer this too. And there we go. Ziki's trying to build a couple there. Ling's trying to buy some time. Also, Ling's in the back. The Lurkers are starting to shred those goons, getting off some good spines. Storm's blanketing a lot of the Hydras, and Ziki's supply has plummeted, man.
Yeah, Storms are looking strong. Units are just, there's just not enough units here from Sziky. We're looking at everything mid right now, trying to rally in, trying to get here in time to hold. But it's looking like Dewalt has just what he needs to break through. As I say that though, there's still a few Lurkers left, and the Observers are taken out? Oh my gosh, Sziky just barely holding on here. But what a stellar hold from him.
Well, that was, you know, a pretty big moment for Protoss. Protoss is mined out in the main in the second. Natural's going to be mined out pretty soon. He just now gets his third base up and running. Zerg ended up surviving the attack. They have 4 bases. I realize he's down 60 supply, but he's got a hive tech coming, so he's going to be able to match the upgrades. He's got better econ, obviously, because he's still mining on 4 bases. And he killed a lot of the goons, a lot of the zealots, and he killed all the Templars.
Yep, killing all the Templars. He just continues to do it time and time again here. We're seeing Protoss start to shuffle towards bottom right, but Ziki's already got Nidus up. He's got Adrenalings on the way. Oh, actually, it looks like Dewalt maybe going to try to slam into mid-right here.
Yeah, but that's a ramp, man. And there's Lurkers and Sunken, and he can just morph a Lurker on the ramp. I don't know what you do if you're Dewalt here. Like, I feel like we're getting into the same situation that I see every single PvZ. It's you have a massive army, but you can't attack anywhere. And then you have Zealot Goon versus Hive Tech Zerg versus Plague, and your whole army gets plagued at some point, and then all of a sudden you have no health on them, and your army's just worthless.
Even top left being denied here, looks like,
well,
for Sziky.
Look how strong those Zealots are, because those Lings don't have any upgrades. What I thought was going to be an easy victory for the Lings, the Zealots end up surviving with a lot of health left over.
Yeah, I thought so too there. Oh man. still, Sziky continues to hold here. And really soon, he's going to have Defiler Swarm. And we know how that goes. Breaking up a ramp into Defiler Swarm Ling Lurker is just impossible.
Yep, so Dewalt, he's got a big army. There's no doubt about it, but he needs to get another base. Okay, there he goes. He's going to take bottom middle, which is fine. He's going to get that base, but the problem is this is a map that you really need to get another main, because at least you can try and split that and deny top middle or bottom middle. Like, if you just are obligated to take bottom middle and Sziky denies top left, well, it denies 2 bases, and you're just probably never going to get either of them. So I think Dewalt really needs to kill a base. He's going to try and kill mid right, but Dark Swarm's done now.
Yeah, Dark Swarm's just going to make this so difficult for Dewalt to break these ramps. I mean, the natural is so close by, right? He's got 3-4 Defilers here. It's going to be a tough push here for Dewalt.
Well, you know, in games like this where you know it's going to be super epic, I'm a big proponent of going for the high tech that Protoss has. You know, they have so many, whether it's Corsairs with D-Web, you know, Dark Archons, Arbiters, you know, stuff of that nature. But the problem with this is Dewalt just doesn't have enough gas to go for that, that I actually think he is just obligated to try and make something happen with what he has right now. He's going to try and bust bottom right. Those are really good storms, and there's not a lot of stuff coming out of the Nidus. This could be the moment that he needs to get back or to try and deny bottom right. But as I say that, Ling's coming out of the Nidus, and Dewalt is... Okay, now he's going to come up.
He's got those Defilers, though. He's getting the swarms down. That means these Dragoons are useless. Plague even going down on this, and still Sziky rallying units from his natural. Counterattack timing at the exact same time at Dewalt's own natural. And one Lurker under Swarm continues to hold here, bottom right.
Yeah, these Lings are going to try and counterattack and take out this base, but I think the cannons plus Probe and Zealot is more than enough, because the Lings just aren't strong. And meanwhile, at bottom right, he did have some Zealots, so he does knock down that Lurker, does knock down the Nidus, but he lost a lot for this. However, this is a critical base for Sziky. Not only is it his 4th base, but it's also got 4 hatches.
Yeah, he's invested so much into this base. I mean, and he had so many Lurkers at one point. But Dewalt just continues to stream units up this ramp, and it looks like bottom right's going to fall, and that's big. Oh, GG, even being called there from Sziky. So Dewalt taking an early 1-0 lead in the series after a really back and forth game. Like, I thought 5 minutes prior to the end of that one, Sziky was in, you know, the dominant position, right? Dewalt barely got a third up, whereas Sziky was sitting on 4 bases for so long. The observer tech was delayed, so you know, Sziky was able to hold those bases with minimal losses, just with Lurker only. Things were looking very good there for Sziky.
Yeah, like if he had just survived that attack, he'd have all of his upgrades. Like his Lings were 1-1, he'd start having 2-2 pretty soon. He's got macro hatches, he had top middle, he would have had just massive econ. So I think Dewalt needed to just outright win the game right there. He was kind of getting stuck with a not so great composition because of how gas starved he was. So well done from Dewalt. He strikes right when he needed to. But it is going to be going into game 2. What map was that? I know it was a good map for Zerg, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Dark Origin.
Dark Origin. Yeah, definitely not a bad map. For whatever reason, we're seeing pretty high win rates on this map for Zerg vs Protoss. You know, those high ground expansions once again just proved to be so difficult to break up. You know, Zerg is able to pressure above the third, very similar to what we saw with, you know, Mihu Bonyth, and vice versa. They're able to hold a high ground third pretty well. That being said, there's a few features of this map that make it great for Protoss. One being it's 2-player map, right? Protoss is gonna, you know exactly where Zerg is spawning. There's potential for shenanigans, but at the same time, Sziky, known for his early pool play, which is kind of built to shut down any of that kind of early debauchery that could, you know, happen from Protoss here. So I'm kind of interested to see how this one's going to go. But with this, we know both our players are ready to go, folks. So let's jump into game number 2 of Sziky vs Dewalt on Neo Dark Origin. spawning top left side of Dark Origin, as the red Protoss, currently up 1-0, we have Dewalt.
Yep, and our Zerg, the last remaining Zerg in the bottom right, it's Sziky. Yeah, and I like how you're talking about the shenanigans of this map, because even though Zerg wins here a decent chunk of the time, you got to be really diligent about all the harassment Protoss can do. You can sneak out a DT through the bridges, sneak them out,
Yep.
you know, through the left side, through the third base. You can take out that mineral patch in the back of your base. You can jump a probe. You can jump a DT in with a probe, you know, mining that patch. There's a whole bunch of ways to get a lot of harassment done on this map.
That DT jump with a probe that you're talking about is like nightmare fuel for me. I can't tell you it's only happened a couple times on ladder or whatever, but every single time I'm about ready to break my keyboard. Like,
Yeah.
everything's going so well, right? You're like, oh man, Protoss sure doesn't seem to have too many units, and then you go back to your main base and you see your entire mineral line is red, and it's like, oh man, it's just such a good, play on this map in particular.
Yeah, this is definitely a map that Sziky needs to be diligent with his Overlord positioning, but we know if you spread out your Overlords too thin, Corsairs can just kill them, one after the other. So, it's a difficult situation to navigate. But speaking of difficult situations to navigate, this is a 9 pool this time, and Dewalt's gonna find Forge first this game, into Cannon, into Nexus.
I wonder if he knows this is a Forge opener from that early scout, and I wonder if he'll build 3 drones. Because I think that could be a good play, given... It is!
Look at that!
Yeah, I just knew it, man. It is the biggest weakness of 9 pool. And if Dewalt isn't paying attention and lets those 2 cannons complete, this is a horrible spot to be in. But he'll likely cancel the one. Yep, we do see a cancel. Still, though, nice reaction and big brain play there from Sziky.
Yeah, that was really nice. And I think it was a good read from Dewalt to count the drones, because the Lynx could have snuck up to the top side of the base and then snuck out when the probe went into the main, or went deeper into the main. So a really good read there to count the drones and see that, hey, this guy did actually not build any Lynx. And now we've got third base coming down for Sziky. He's mining his gas already. And again, another scenario where the probe could potentially get taken down at a point in the game where Zerg could, just turn this into a Hydra Den all in.
We've seen him 9-7-3 before. We've seen him hit those speedling timings, right? He's not opposed to getting really aggressive and in Protoss's face early on if he has to. And that's kind of part of what makes him so scary in this matchup. Man, that probe just barely squeaking by. He's so close, but he's gonna get away. Oh man, well done there from Dewalt.
Yeah, this was really good to actually save that. And I'm sure he'll send out another worker in just a moment. Or actually, I guess he could just send his first zealot, because he saw there were only four Lings so far.
Yeah, I think 1 cannon will hold it, especially with a probe there, no problem. So,
oh,
it is Hydra Den. He loves changing it up. He's great at this build order, man. Like, he was meant for it. So I think this is a good call and a good way to shake up the series here for Sziky.
He's got to be careful to not build any Hydras out of that third base while the probe is alive, because if it scouts the third base and sees Hydras get built there, the entire strategy is down the drain. So it is crucial to at least hide that, and of course not let the probe get into the main.
Yeah, he's doing a great job just kind of body blocking with these Zerglings. Not able to catch the probe, but not allowing the probe to really get any critical information here early on, which is very key when you're opening 9-7-3. +1 starting on the Forge here for Dewalt as well. Stargate, that's likely going to be how he sees, if an early game Hydra timing is coming. There's still, it's not like just because Sziky made the Hydra Den that he has to, 9-7-3 all in pressure. You could just go 5-hatch Hydra too. It's just as good of a build, so we'll have to see how he chooses to open here. And we're at that 9-7-3, even 1 or 2 more drone count here for Sziky, so we'll have to see how, you know, he optionally chooses to you know, adjust here.
Yep, slightly better econ than a normal 973. And, you know, even a couple drones can really just catapult your econ massively. Probe still has no intel. Now, I will say this, Machine. We're 5:30 into the game. There is no speed. That seems suspicious, to say the least.
Yeah, we're even seeing a couple cannons going down here for Dewalt, just playing it safe. First Corsair moving across the map. Templar Archives down as well. And Corsair will see the first 6-speed Hydra moving across the map here.
Yep, there are 2 cannons completed, soon to be 3, and this does seem like Dewalt will just barely get the correct defense in time. Range is done though, so he may be able to knock down this Forge. Forge is halfway. Oh, he's gonna go for it actually. Zealots actually get a decent hit right there. They take down 2 out of the 6 Hydra list and try and take down that cannon. Oh man, oh man.
I think this was actually great for Dewalt here. There's no way these 2 Hydras are going to be able to tear down a Forge in time. And GG is called there from Sziky. Yeah, that was it. You're right, though. It was really the Zealots getting extra damage onto a couple of those Hydras that made or break that timing there for Sziky. He was hoping the Lings would be able to execute and kind of like sweep up some of that damage, but, you know, sometimes the 973 just doesn't work out, and that was one of them.
Can't even transition out of that scenario. Like, I realize 973, it's a committed thing, you want to do some damage, but he had 24 drones. Like, he still had decent econ. I realized it obviously didn't get the damage that he was expecting, but you can't even try and transition.
You can try, but I'll tell you the big break point is killing that Forge and at least resetting the upgrade timing, right? Because typically the big transition factor out of a 973 is you get your own Evo, you get +1 range started about the same time you're killing your opponent's +1, you know, attack for Protoss. So without that reset, not only is he going to be behind on eco, he's also going to be behind on upgrades. It's a mountain to climb for sure for Zerg.
Well, I didn't even see the GG come out, and just all of a sudden I see my face pop up. I'm like, what happened?
Yeah, I mean, you know Sziky, right? He definitely probably could have grinded it out. I don't want to say it would have been impossible for him, but it was a tough spot, especially against a player the caliber of Dewalt as well. So with that, looks like map 3 going to be another Sziky pick here. It's going to be Polypoid, old favorite for sure from both these players, I'd say. Not, you know, a map that I would say is very even for this matchup with those high ground mineral onlys. Always makes for a great game. But yeah, folks, with that, both our players are ready to go. So let's get into game 3 between Sziky and Dewalt. And spawning top right as the blue Zerg, we have Sziky.
Yep, and in the top left, 1 game away from setting us up for another Bonyth Dewalt rematch. It's Dewalt.
Yeah, man. They just can't seem to avoid each other.
Do it. I think the problem is that nobody else can kill Bonyth except Mihu, right? The problem is nobody else can send Bonyth to the losers bracket, which means Dewalt is the only one that can, or the only reason that they always face off versus each other.
I mean, they have incredible series every time, right? Even the last series they faced off against each other, it was a 3-2 win for Bonyth, so it's not like Dewalt's not in it. But man, yeah, Bonyth he's just such a problem for 99.9% of these foreigners. We're seeing Dewalt get that early scout off here, and it looks to be a Forge opener once again, but he should be able to scout Sziky and block you know, his early expansion attempt here.
Yep, it is going to be, what was it, a 11 pool or something? It's not overpool. And for a second there, that probe, I thought he was going to gas steal, and I was like about to lose my mind. Like, what are we gas stealing? Like, Zerg doesn't care.
Yeah, yeah. No, I think this is actually just an overpull from Zerg here. So pretty safe, pretty standard. It's exactly what we saw game 1 here out of Sziky. So it's really going to come down to a little bit of a fight between drones, 1 or 2 drones here in this probe, trying to secure this natural expansion, or know when to give it up and take your natural at a third base. And Dewalt with some just phenomenal control continues to get that first shot off. And now that the shield's been burned away, there should be no fighting this drone here. And yeah, Sziky getting away with a relatively quick natural expansion.
And this time around, no funny business. He is building 6 lings. You will build those cannons, or else you will die. The probe sees it though. And 4 lings moving across the map. 2 more lings popping out.
Yep, 1 ling staying on top of that scouting probe, just being a nuisance. No drone moving out to take a third yet, but likely we're going to see that any moment. Natural gateway going down here for Dewalt. And cannon looks to be just in time, or am I wrong? Oh, he's just in time. I think he's going to get 1 probe kill, but still though, not a bad hold timing for Dewalt. I guess not a bad pickup for Sziky either. You always take a probe.
Well, at least Dewalt respected that this could have been a run by, and he knew that it was, razor thin. There's some players I see where they're like, I got it, and then just barely the lings actually get in, and I'm like, man, could you just pull 2 probes or something and sit them on the ramp at least? So it was nice clutch defense right there, because Dewalt would have lit in 4 lings, and we know that Sziky would have just never let those die. Now again, this probe is potentially going to get taken out at a moment where this could be a Hydra switch.
He does see the lair though, so everything's looking to be lair. Oh!
Yeah, but this could be a cancel. Like, he just started it. This could easily be a cancel.
It's not, though. I think that's a good call, right? You just failed to a 9-7-3 attempt. Like, let's just get into more of a standard game. And we even see Zergling speed on the way here for Sziky. So, yeah, I think he's in a fine spot still. It was a very fast core, though, from Dewalt. Likely going to be extremely fast Stargate and Corsair first here. Second gas coming down here for Dewalt as well. Oh, Citadel!
Yeah, I was about to say that. I was looking at Dewalt's main, and I'm thinking there's no big, gateway-sized building in his main, and it's going to be straight Citadel, so this could be Dark Archon. Where's at TT1 in the chat for this?
Yeah, where's he at, man? Taking a page out of the TT1 book here. I like seeing this play just because it's unique. I'd say the heavy majority of PVZs are always going to be Corsair openers, but certain players have been able to make this work even at a high level, and it's always exciting seeing if you're going to get the Maelstrom off or not, or how much damage the mutas are going to be able to deal. So the Overlord fully scouting in here towards that top left corner and committing a Dragoon out for Dewalt, so he's going to get at least a supply block, and he's making another gateway and the archives at the natural, so it's, yes, guaranteed going to be at least Storm Archon, if not likely Dark Archon.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to likely be Dark Archon, but we did see a few seasons ago, I remember seeing, well, actually quite a few seasons ago, was it Dragon doing a Zealot Archon, double Archon timing versus Eon Zerg? So that's also a possibility. Archon's obviously great versus Mutalisk. They have decent range.
But the Zergs that have, incredible muta control, they just dance around Archons. It's crazy how good they are.
Yeah, there's a reason pretty much every game Taurus players go Corsairs, because the mutas, they just don't die. But it is double DT, so it is going to be Dark Archon, so it's obviously going to be for Maelstrom. But something that's underappreciated is mind control. Like, you could, let's say you never have an opportunity to get off the Maelstrom, you can still go mind control and skip Robo and use that to mind control an Overlord and do like a massive push. Like, that's an underrated move also.
Yeah, it definitely is. you really hardly ever see mind control. I can't even think about the last serious series I saw mind control in, to be honest with you, but it can be strong. And Muta's diving into the mineral line. I don't think there's a cannon in position. Oh, there is one. Never mind. So already a couple probes falling. One Muta going very low.
Okay, he did good damage though. He got like 5 workers or something. And that drone, good SimCity right there. So now the DTs have been shown, did no damage.
Yeah, nice position here, I gotta say, for Sziky early on. First Archon being warped. There's been 3 cannons even committed to the main. But Sziky finding a little hole to deal damage to that forge. Oh, and even losing a Muta. Yikes.
Yikes.
Yeah, it's never what you want to see. I don't know.
Speak for yourself, Machine. I want to see those Mutas die, because it feels like it doesn't matter how many turrets I build. They just decide to just shoot different Mutalisks, and you're right, they don't die ever.
Yeah, they absolutely never die. We're seeing the DT even being pulled all the way back here. I was thinking he was going to morph a Dark Archon. Ooh, big shot!
Yeah,
there
that softened up a lot of the health of... Whoa, whoa, whoa. Those DTs were never morphed. So he's actually just going to use them with the push.
I think Sziky's ready. He's got Muta to flank. He's got double sunken at both bases. He sees this coming. There's just no way this is going to...
Well, I don't know. DTs deal a lot of damage, dude. And the Zealots go in first to soak up the hits. But you're right, it does get pushed back. But it does force Sziky to build units, you know, at a time where he was really trying to drone up.
I mean, he is on 3 base. Storm just now even starting for Dewalt, so he's a long ways away as well from ever securing a 3rd base or having, you know, any kind of bigger push potential than just Speed Zealot Archon.
Well, there's an opening at the top side of this mineral line, and he's going to try and knock down some probes. That goon, I don't think, has range. Oh man, he could snipe a Templar. Oh,
that'd be a big pickup. Ooh, and he didn't even lose a Muta for that.
I told you.
There's another one. He saw it too.
They don't shoot the same Muta, man. They just want to shoot random units. Okay, he gets one of them. Oh, what?
Ooh,
how does that not shoot?
He got away. And I'm seeing some rallying Muta joining up as well, so it's not like this Muta threat's over. No 3rd gas yet from Sziky, but it looks like he says, I have enough Hydra, it's time to put some counter pressure on. And remember, the Storm was pretty late. He's already lost a couple Templar. You know, maybe there's a hole here for Sziky to apply some pressure.
Dewalt's comp is kind of weird at this point. You know he doesn't have Storm because he morphed double Archon. You just picked off 2 Templars. You know he doesn't have range. And you know there's no Maelstrom because he just lost one of his DTs. So this could be a Hydra contain. It could be, you know, buying time to get off a Lurker contain. You know the Robo's late also.
I like this spread of just like a few Hydras for Sziky, trying to bait out some Storms here. And actually, Dewalt not going for it. He's going to move out without a Storm. Does grab 1 Hydra.
Oh my gosh, that's
huge Storm. Muta's even engaging against the Archon. That's never good. But still, Sziky finding some good damage. But it looks like Dewalt has at least broken out onto the map here.
Yeah, I don't think that was enough damage. If he didn't eat those 2 Storms, you know, maybe it's different. But his supply is, you know, he's down 40 and only has 65. He's got a good worker count at 43, but I don't think he can contest Dewalt's army at this point. So Dewalt can take a 3rd base pretty freely. He could even take a 4th base pretty freely, and there's still no Lurkers.
Oh no. Yeah, this is looking like a big kill timing here for Dewalt. I thought this was looking a lot better for Sziky, but man, Dewalt's supply is just far and away higher.
Also, I think his 1/1 power spike is kicking in, Dewalt's, and this could just be a game-ending move. I don't think Zerg's army is big enough to deal with this, and at the same time, a DT went into the 3rd base, didn't get many kills, but actually, did Dewalt overstep here? Goons versus Hydras. Oh, that's a whiff! Complete whiff!
Yeah, a bit of a whiff on that Storm, and these rallying Hydras, ooh, nice second Storm though, taking out quite a few of the Hydras rallying in from the third. There is a lurker that finished, and I don't believe we have an observer, so Sziky might barely hold here. But not before, you know, a lot of units have been lost, and some damage has been done. Even losing this forward hatchery is Sziky. Oh, but maybe just a slight overstep here because quite a few Dragoon Templars start to fall.
Oh, Hydras? Are there enough to prevent this hatchery from dying? I guess the answer is yes, but he critically lost his Hydra Den, so he can't build any more Hydras right now. And instead, he's forced to just spend his money on literally anything else, and he's decided that he's going to go Mutalist while his Hydra Den's rebuilding.
Maybe not a bad call, Muta Lurker here. He was able to spend all the gas he's been accumulating off, you know, 3 Vespian Geysers. So maybe if he can get across the map here with these 7 Muta, there might be some counter pressure. And yeah, even a group of Speedlings running across the map as well. And remember, this is just a mineral only here for Dewalt. So Dewalt likely going to have to spend a lot of his time on his side of the map from now on, trying to secure a third gas base of his own. Meanwhile, Sziky able to take his own 4th.
Yeah, actually, Ziki's recovered really well. Remember, he was down 40 supply. Now it's only 20. He's got high ground advantage on his 3rd or on his 4th base, so you know he's gonna, or he should be able to hold that. He's got Mutas to snipe the Templars if they ever get out onto the map isolated, and you know there's no Corsairs to deal with Mutalists. So this is actually a decent position now for Sziky. The Observer comes in, sees there's no lair.
Zealot did scout mid-left and saw that it was Mutas, and it's prompting a counter now out of Dewalt.
Yeah, I don't know if you can counter this, though. There's a lot of lurkers, and it's also high ground, man. Like, you don't have the +2 armor that you did in the previous game, and this is just an instant counterattack, and I think Dewalt has kind of botched this because he's not getting up this base, and he's instead just going to lose his Nexus.
Only 1 observer as well. Sziky could have just sniped that off, but still the high ground proving to be so tough for Dewalt to push onto. And as you said, that 3rd base, it's dead. You know, Dewalt has now lost that mineral only for the most part.
Yeah, really good move from Sziky right there to go for the counterattack. And what's funny is even if Dewalt can get through here, there's enough Mutalists left over that he'll be able to win this fight also, assuming the Archon gets taken down. If the Archon get taken down, you just kill all the goons. Where is Ziki's units? I thought for sure he was going to have more Hydras come in, but instead he just had Lings and everything just melted.
Yeah. Maybe they're rallied mid-right to his 3rd base or something, because, I mean, the supplies are very close here between these two. But it looks like Dewalt going to take that mineral only. Oh, Mutas are at the rally position, though. Going to find an Observer, going to maybe find a couple Templar.
You don't have Storm, he's 7 more seconds. Oh, that Nexus didn't die. What? He just let it live?
I think the Zerglings got cleaned up and the Mutas were forced to move. But still, Mutas are still alive here, still doing critical eco damage to Dewalt. And it looks like this is the turning point in the game here for Sziky.
These Mutas, what the heck, man? They've done so much damage. They've killed like 20 workers. Dewalt needs to queue up 5 workers in every single Nexus just to match the econ of Sziky. So this is just pretty much Ziki's game to take at this point. He's done crippling amounts of damage. He's got to find the probe line again. This is why you don't skip Stargate, because he can't do anything to these Mutalists. They're going to come in and snipe more Templars.
Yep, this is why you don't skip Stargate, man.
Oh, that one was in the middle of the cast and he still didn't get it off.
I mean, Ziki's just too good at this, right? He could do this all day. There's just no coming back from this. He still has the Mutas alive. I mean, Lurker Hydra count is starting to climb. Dewalt trying to get in here, trying to feel out where Ziki's at and what he's up to, but yeah, not able to get much damage there. And it looks like Sziky is just trying to start putting on the pressure.
Yep, he's going to counter. There's no Observer, there's no Storm versus Mass Hydra Lurker plus Mutalist. I think Sziky may have done it in Game 3. There's a lot of Hydras at the bottom side. Like, he's just all over the place.
Yeah, it looks like the Hydras at the bottom side. Starting to engage, need to retreat though, but they're going to get overwhelmed. Still, it kind of bought time for Sziky to get to a better position here. Picks off yet another Templar, and now suddenly these Zealots having to engage into the Lurker field. The trades are not going well here for Dewalt.
If Archon got blasted, all those Zealots got blasted, and that's it.
Wow, GG being called there from Dewalt, and Sziky takes his first game of the series, starting to maybe mount another comeback. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah. 2-0 lead, not enough, man.
Nope, definitely not, man. Especially not when you're facing off against Sziky, dude. He was able to, just play a pretty safe standard game there, right? He just opened Buta first once he scouted the Citadel, no Stargate. We knew he had really good Buta control going into this, and that's always the risk if you end up skipping that Stargate play against a good Zerg, right? Like, Archons are great against Buta, but you gotta hit them to really deal the damage needed, and Dewalt not quite able to take that game.
Yeah, and luckily Sziky sacked his Overlord to get in there and see it. So like he saw that it's non-Stargate from a mile away. So his first 5 mutas, rack up 5 kills. I think Dewalt had a good recovery. In fact, I thought he was going to win with his DT attack. I thought he was going to win with his, 10-minute attack with the goons killing the Hydrogen in the hatchery. But a little bit too much macro for Sziky. And of course the counterattack from him on the third base was game-saving, game-changing.
For sure. I mean, he definitely had him on the ropes, like you said, especially that 10-minute timing with the Dragoons picking off that, or doing damage to that forward hatchery. Not quite able to fall, though, and Sziky with the Lurker upgrade he needed just in time to be able to hold. So it was very well done from him, as expected. But now, it looks like we're going to be going into an Invader pick from Dewalt. 2-player map is Invader, so we've seen nothing but Forge openers out of Dewalt here so far. I would expect to see more of the same, particularly on a map with 2 separate ramps when you're facing off against Zekylings. So, with that, folks, both of our players are ready to go. So let's jump into the 4th game of the series. It's Dewalt against Sziky in the loser bracket semifinals. And spawning top left as the blue Zerg on Invader, we have StarCast Sziky.
Yep, and in the bottom right are red Protoss, the one and only. It's Dewalt.
You think we're going to see another Forge opener this game out of Dewalt?
You know what? I was just about to say that. I was going to say, Machine, you think we'll see Gateway opener this game? I don't think we will. I think we're going to see Forge again.
I think he could, right? I think against most Zergs, he could still make it work. He, obviously with the 2 ramps, it's always going to be a tougher hold, but it's not like it should be outright never used on this map. Still, against Sziky, who loves his 9 pulls, we've been calling it out from the start. Maybe not the wisest choice, and actually it could just be another overpull here from Sziky. Maybe not. Maybe this is hatch first?
Well, the thing about Invader is the Overlord doesn't get in position, like, for anything. It doesn't get in position to scout the probe. It doesn't get in position to see if it's 12 Nexus in time. There's a lot of things that it just doesn't see. So he didn't know if this was an incoming probe or not. And somehow he gets away with 12 hatch.
That's a miracle. That is seriously a miracle. It never happens for me. But yeah, he does get away with it. It was an 11 hatch, but I mean, still great against 9-gate openers. Sziky likely gonna just count himself lucky. Yep, puts his pool down there instead of going for something like a 3 hatch before pool. But this is actually gonna allow Dewalt to open Nexus first here. Nexus first is also a strong counter, and early eco build from Protoss in this matchup.
Speaking of big eco openers, it's a 12 Nexus, man. It could be even Gate afterwards instead of Forge, but I think we're too far along for that, or it's too late for that particular follow-up. So it's just going to be the safe opener with the Forge. That's going to be third base on location at top middle.
Yeah, for Sziky, very well timed on that third base. And this is third hatch before gas in main, so you know, could potentially be early Hydras. That's what I'd like to say it's leaning towards, right? The layer is going to be slightly more delayed than gas before third hatch, but still very, very strong opener.
Yep, Probe's still alive. Only sees 2 lings. So he should be able to get off a lot of intel. And it is just 1 cannon follow-up. But I don't think... Oh. Okay, those were... I thought those were more lings being built at the natural, but it's still only 2. This is kind of close spawn positioning, and I think the lings will get there before the cannon completes, so you can see Dewalt plugging that hole up with a couple probes.
Yeah, this is annoying, right? He's losing, you know, mining time on a couple probes, but still the cannon's right there. This shouldn't get much damage done. And great control there for Dewalt. Doesn't even lose a probe for it, so well done. Probe still scouting in the main. It is layer before Hydra Den.
Yeah, so he gets to see everything. And when you know that it has to be Spire this game, because there's no possibility of it being Hydra, you don't... I mean, you have full intel. You think we may actually see something like Double Stargate as a response to this?
Yeah, I think it could be smart. Double Stargate definitely, you know, coming back in popularity in the meta. We've already seen from the last game how scary Sziky Lings can be if they go unchecked. Why not open Double Stargate one game? He's already up, you know, in the series 2-1. He has some lives to play with, let's say. So I think it would actually be a good call.
Well, there's the first Stargate in the main. You can already see it being built. We've got gas down for Dewalt already. I don't see +1 weapon on the cybernetics, so he may be saving that gas for another Stargate, but no second Stargate just yet, at least. Okay, he spent 100. Okay, so it is just going to be 1 Stargate with the +1 weapon coming in.
Also a fine decision, right? It's kind of the more of a middle of the road build. It's going to allow him to transition and adjust a little easier. We'll likely see a Citadel here shortly out of him. And likely going to get some +1 Speed Zealots as well.
Yep, and Dewalt has learned from the Chow GG games, he needs to make sure that there are no holes in that wall. You can see he even has a probe there to make sure that lings cannot sneak through. I like the worker count for Sziky this game though, 34 to 28. I mean, that's pretty damn good. Overlord again sacks itself to get full intel onto this, and he's going to see that, hey, the Citadel is not ridiculously fast this game. It's more eco-based for Protoss.
Also, he's going to see that first, you know, Corsair. Going to see +1 on the Cybernetics core, so he'll know there's at least some committal to these early Corsairs for Dewalt. Looks like natural gas going down here for Sziky, and a third gas. Wow, sees the +1 core and still is opting to be a heavy air play.
It seemed like that Overlord went in to make sure that it wasn't double Stargate, and after confirming that, hey, you're only going 1 Stargate, he responds with triple gas, and this could be Mutaman this game. So Dewalt needs to make sure that he, first off, doesn't lose his Corsair, and second off, if he can get vision onto that third gas, that would be critical, and he did.
He's going to lose this Corsair, though.
Yeah, but he got still, the intel off.
Oh, did I jinx it? I think I jinxed it, man. That Corsair is getting home.
He might.
Still, though. With that, Templar we're seeing Archive. Constant... yeah, Templar Archives down. Seeing constant Corsair production now out of Dewalt. Manages to keep the Corsair alive. That's huge, right? He's going to have to wait a whole less 1 Corsair before he can hit his critical +1 move-out timing.
Whoa, that's double Evo chamber?
Is it? Oh, man. I have no clue. Is this maybe Ling armor and melee and Muta Ling melee? I have no idea.
Yeah, this is going to be Ling Man, Mutaman, and Hive really, really quickly.
Definitely a unique play here out of Sziky.
You don't see this type of style that often, but I think this is really strong. He's going to be able to match the upgrades from on the ground. He's going to be able to, you know, match the air upgrades also with his +1 armor. And Lings, even though, you know, historically they're not that great versus Zealots, if you can get to Hive, all of a sudden Lings are amazing.
Yeah, it's really storm timings that are a big deal. Oh, Corsair is being split up and caught out. Oh no, but not if the Scourge don't fire. Oh boy.
Oh man. Oh, but he doesn't have anything on the ground. There's a single sunken, or actually 2 sunken. Drones have an amazing body block, but I don't think the Mutalisk can really do much here to help support the Lings and Sunken Colony. These Zealots may just be able to win the game outright.
Yeah, and the Scourge count isn't really what it needs to be to push these Corsair off. Still, it looks like he is going to force a retreat somehow out of Dewalt, but not before some critical damage has been dealt.
Well, Dewalt may already know that something weird is going on because he saw no Hydras, right? He saw just Lings, and his Spidey sense should be tingling. It should be going off the charts right now like, hey man, what the heck are you doing?
Yeah, what's going on? Not a single Hydra? The 9-minute mark. DT walking into the third though, gonna get some critical kills on this drone line. Oh, all right, 2 drones, 3 drones, not bad. Could be worse there for Sziky. And once again, only scouting Muta.
Yeah, and I like Dewalt's response, literally just not stopping on the Corsair count. He's also even morphing Archons. He's going into 8 gates, so it's gonna be like Archon Zealot, Mass Corsair, and I think this is a smart move. You can't let Zerg get to Hive Tech. Oh my gosh, Greater Spire. I didn't know that was a thing.
I didn't either, to be honest with you. It looks like just defensive Guardian Devourer Ling, which, I mean, sounds good. I don't know. I don't see a problem with it.
Devourers are actually really good versus air. Like Zerg's air is definitely underrated. People think about how strong Seas carriers are, but if you put some of those acid spores on Corsairs or anything really, you take a lot of damage. But we may not get to that point because the Corsairs are dealing so much damage, and then Archon gets a run-by shot. There's still a lot of Corsairs left over. The drones are not able to drill and save this base, and if this base dies, I don't think you can win on 2 base, Hive Tech, Ling, Muta. Oh my god, all the Mutas died.
Yeah, and GG is called there from Sziky. Looks like Dewalt going to take the series in a close one, 3-1. But man, well done. Hats off to Dewalt.
He played well. He read that last game really well. He knew exactly what was going on. Like, dude, you have no Hydras? What else could it be? I know you're not playing me with just pure Mutas, unless it's me. I mean, that's my move, just mass Muta. No Hive, no anything, just pure Muta, man. So well done. A little bit sad for Sziky. I think his best game was Retro. Like, I realized he won on Polypoid, but he looked the best on Retro. Like, he was about to split the map, but Dewalt busted him right before, all the critical 2-2 upgrades kicked in.
Yeah, just barely. With, I mean, ridiculously fast, like 2-1 armor upgrade of his own, So, but yeah, Sziky, as always, having a very phenomenal showing in BSL. Will go out in 4th place. But that sets us up for yet another epic, walk back of Bonyth versus Dewalt in the loser bracket semifinal best of 7.
Yeah, and regardless of who comes out of it, you know that the grand finals is going to be epic because we just had 4-3 Bonyth versus Mihu. Whenever Mihu faces Dewalt, it's always close, like 4-3, 4-2, something along those lines. So I'm hyped for our final 2 series of BSL, and of course, does it get more epic in PvP? Bonyth versus Dewalt? I can't think of any other PvP series that I would want to watch more than that.
Nope. Yeah, definitely not, man. It's always neck and neck between these two. The last showing going 3-2 for Bonyth's way, so we'll see if Bonyth maybe has the consistency he's going to need to close out another series, or if, Dewalt might be able to shake things up and take a big win and move his way on to the grand finals to face Mihu.
Yeah, man. Well, I'm excited for our last 2 series of the tournament. You know, we're basically there. We've only got a couple weeks left. So, of course, we got to shout out our Patreon supporters and all of our supporters of
For
BSL
sure.
that make BSL17 happen. At the $100 level, we have the one and only, it's Star Lover and My Fleeting Dream. We got Striker Believe in Zero at $50 and Hash Fuzzy at $50. $30 we got Tim Cuz Tupacalypse Niantic. $20 we've got Voltina Bulai, Kevin, JC, Suricata, Boss Bates, Quark, Steven Robertson, Medino Imperian, Daniel Lopez on my way, Gordon Bradley, KJ, LML, and Scheming Gypsy, and all you other supporters of the BSL. Thank you so much for your continued support and allowing BSL to continue. Of course, at $10 or above Patreon support, you get all the replays of BSL, so definitely consider becoming a supporter that way.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Those replays so key if you want to, you know, continually evolve your play and see, you know, and try to mimic some of the top play in this tournament, the best, you know, tournament outside Korea. So yeah, definitely continue donating and supporting folks, and thank you for everything. Thanks, Dan, as per usual, man. Always been a fun cast with you. Glad we got to witness some great Brood War today. And yeah, man, I can't wait for the next one.
I can't wait either, man. And in fact, we don't have to wait much longer, because tomorrow we've got our losers bracket. It's going to be Bonyth versus Dewalt. I'm going to be casting with Raz. We're going to get some Protoss insight, so that's going to be exciting. I look forward to seeing those games, and I look forward to seeing all you guys in the chat right now coming to watch with us. So thanks again so much for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.